Here's why masculine women can't keep masculine men, but feminine women do. Conscious masculine men are not drawn to masculine energy in women. When you constantly lead, control, overthink, overdo, you disconnect from your feminine power. Release all that tension. Feel instead of always thinking. Let your natural softness and glow lead you. That's when conscious masculine men, they actually see you.
Feminine women are not going to approach you. It is masculine energy to go up and approach that beautiful feminine woman. Masculine men have been doing this since the dawn of time. I know you guys feel like, oh, I don't have to approach women. I don't want to. They should come to me. Listen, if you're that guy, good luck, because you will not have any success. You're not Brad Pitt. I don't even got it like that. It's still my job to go up to a beautiful woman that's giving me clues as to when I should go approach her. And you guys go and approach her and get her number. That's how it's done, fellas.
This is Sparta!
The man pursues with structure. The woman pursues by showing her appreciation. So this means the man leads with making plans. Hey, I booked dinner at this time. Meet me here. Wear this dress. You go to the date, have an amazing time, are in a surrendered state of joy, and you feel so good. All the worries about your work day and everything just melt. You're present with him in a state of love and surrender. You then extend your appreciation to him of what ensued and the effort he put in to take care of you and make you feel safe. That is the combination of pursuit. The man pursues by leading, creating structure and plans for you to play and feel joyous. You then express your deep appreciation for him as a man and the effort he put in to court you. That is the divine union of courtship.
These modern women think that a man is supposed to want what she wants. I say the plan, I announce it, you're supposed to want it too, right? If your vision is different from mine, then you must not really even like me. You gotta be exactly like me.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm done being modest on dates. Guys ask me, why are you single? I be trying to be like, oh, I just haven't found the right one. Men are not committing anymore. Stop asking me that. Men are not committing. Like, I don't know what to say now. I'm tired of being modest about it. Oh, you know, I've just been trying to learn I really do be trying to be modest. I'm just learning myself. I just haven't found the right one. Men are not committing. There's been a bunch of men I've been interested in. Guess what? They weren't ready for relationships. They just wanted a situationship. Either that or they just really didn't like me enough, which is cool too. And I'm able to say that. But I can't. I'm done being modest.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Now, this is why I tell you guys all the time. You have to be able to detect the body count without the number. Don't ask them. They're liars. You have to be able to look at her posture, look at what she's wearing, look at how she talks, look at what she talks about, look at who her friends are, look at how she behaves when you're out. Is she attention seeking? What does her phone look like? How possessive is she of her phone? What is she doing on the phone? How many ex-boyfriends does she have that she'll acknowledge, and how does she speak about them? You have to be able to, how does she dress for date one? How does she dress when she goes out with her girlfriends if you are tolerating the girls' night out, which you shouldn't. I'm not talking about I'm going over to my friend's house, have some dinner. I'm talking about naked, going to the bar till 5 a.m, girls' night out. How's she dressed? Like, you need to be able to assess all of these things, and you will know her body count like that.
Modern women have this thing to where they're expecting you to do it like they want you to do it, exactly how they want you to do it. It's almost like a performance review. You know what I mean? A performance review. So, and I understand, you know, you have to talk to people and communicate with them. I get it. I understand it. I'm all for it. But modern women, the way they be treating you, it's almost like they think that they're your supervisor. Like they own you. Like you're the employee, they're the boss. That's the way they treat you. Like you don't know anything. You don't know what you're doing. Anything that might be coming out of your mouth hasn't been well thought out, hasn't been planned out. You're an idiot. You're a psychopath. You're aloof. You're obtuse. All of that.
Masculine women attract feminine men because they feel more safe around the feminine man. Why do they feel more safe around the feminine man? Because they don't feel safe and they don't trust their feminine self. They trust their masculine self more. And they trust their masculine self more to meet their basic human needs of feeling safe and secure and running all those adaptations and self-preservation strategies within a relationship that are more masculine, because during their life they did not feel safe to embody their feminine essence. So therefore they didn't form a connection to their feminine essence enough for them to trust it, to even know what it's like, to be able to just let go and be in their flow, feel their emotions, embody that compassionate, intuitive, goddess-like energy that's within them. No, they felt more safe embodying their masculine energy because they had to run all these self-preservation strategies and adaptations as a way to meet their basic human needs at that time due to the circumstances that they were in. So, they value operating in this way. So when a masculine man comes and, time for the woman to flow more in her feminine energy, she doesn't feel safe to do that. She feels more safe around the feminine man.
A lot of these modern women, they'll sit up here and watch a man do the things that he's supposed to be doing, act like he's supposed to be acting, and take it for granted. Fumble him, straight up. Just fumble. They try to make it seem like he's a problem. He's the one doing things that he did this, or he was this, and this. No, you're the problem. You have the issue, and it's time for you to start taking accountability for you fumbling a good man. Plain and simple, man. I did this. I talked to him this way. I was acting silly, bad attitude. I wouldn't dress appropriately. I was posting pictures I probably shouldn't have posted. And he got tired of it. He told me this multiple times. He reasoned with me. He sat down and explained things to me. And yet and still continue to do what I wanted to do. And so he left. We couldn't come to agreement, which really means I couldn't stop doing silly stuff.
I had a first date scheduled with a Hinge match for Thursday. Coffee. He doesn't drink. Cool. He asks me to choose the place. I politely decline. I'm a food blogger. Not gonna do your fucking work for you. So anyway, he doesn't know I'm a food blogger. Like, he knows nothing about me. I don't have that on my dating profile. So instead of choosing the place, he actually canceled our date. The task was just too large for him. He actually said, after further reviewing the assignment, I've concluded I'm not the man for the job. I wish you all the best in your New York dating journey. You can't choose a coffee shop? Good luck in your dating journey, sir. Not mine. And by the way, this is a PhD student. Like, don't you know how to do any research? Spend 5 minutes on our date, babe. Like, try a little.
I think it's funny because modern women, they want a man to lead, but then they don't want him to lead. Like, they want him to provide, but don't be the sole provider. You know what I mean? Like, it gets real confusing because you're never really ever sure exactly what they want. And so if men have to like continue to like try to guess what you want, how is that appealing? You could be out here giving somebody your money and they'd be like, so what is it that you actually want? I would love to do business with you, but what is it that you're actually looking for? And I think that's what most men struggle with. They don't actually know what a woman wants. These modern women. It used to be that you can get a read on what they're looking for, but nowadays it's a little bit more difficult.
Where's our first stop?
What?
First stop, gas station.
You so every time. Good Lord. No wonder you want to make me go.
That man is tired of you. And what's crazy to me is that you don't even see it. You think that this is some sort of flex to put on social media? It's not, because everyone can see what you've been putting this man through for a far too long of time.
If we are dating with the intention of getting married. And trust me when I tell you, I know exactly what the man that's looking for a wife behaves like. And that because I have 3 brothers. And you might be thinking, 3 brothers. My brothers, they're not only strong physically, but they're very strong mentally. So you take my values and my character and times that by 10,000. So when I date someone with the intention of getting married, that man needs to at least be on my brother's level or better. But better is kind of hard, to be honest. I can't lie to you, because my brother's already up the standards like really high. And I say that because I see their wives and how happy they are. I see the life they live. I see how they respect them because they care about the family and they look after them. So now you're telling me, why am I single? I'm single by choice because I can't date a man that show me less than what my brothers do. I can't. I might go on a date, yeah. But that doesn't mean I'm going to marry the guy. I will get to know him. And then after I'll be like, nah, that's not for me.
Stop threatening divorce every time you argue. Because the moment you say it, you are no longer fighting for your marriage. You are teaching your spouse that your love has an exit door. Disagreements are normal. Stress is normal. Being annoyed, overwhelmed, or even angry is normal. What's not healthy is turning every single argument into a reminder that you can leave. When divorce becomes a threat, your spouse stops feeling safe. They stop opening up. Healthy couples argue with the mindset that we are on the same team, not I will walk if this doesn't go my way. If you are overwhelmed, say that. If you are hurt, say that. If you need space, ask for it. But stop using divorce as a weapon, because one day they may stop hearing it as a threat and start hearing it as a plan.
And a lot of times, what you might find with modern women is sometimes they know they're doing it and they do it intentionally, but then other times they'll do it subconsciously, where you have a man that's continuing to audition. You're still comparing him to an ex-boyfriend, Chad or Tyrone, or some sort of guy, something like that you met somewhere, that you were in a situationship with. You wrote, well, he's not like this guy, or he can't do it like this guy, and my ex set the standard, and all that other nonsense. And eventually men hear that and they leave. So a good man that you had on the hook eventually leaves because you're talking nonsense. Oh, he's not really, he ain't a real man. He didn't step up to the plate. I ain't trying to step up to no plate. I ain't trying to do none of that, because this is not a one-sided audition to where you make all of the rules. We're both trying to put our best foot forward for each other, but it seems like in some form of fashion, one of us got only one of.
Does this mean that women don't care about looks? No. But I think it's important to understand that looks are simply a component to market value equation, for lack of a better term. So for us, it's looks and everything else is kind of like a second, distant, third, or fourth place, right? For women, looks are a component of a complex matrix because every woman is different. So in other words, some women might be totally okay with a guy that's average looking, but they put a bigger stake on his status. Some women might care a lot about looks and might not necessarily care so much about status, but they care about income. Some girls might say, I only care about income and I don't give about looks. But the bottom line is that for men, there's an entire checklist of things that must be accomplished for the girl to be attracted. And this list typically is heavily weighed upon security, okay? Most men don't care about a woman's ability to earn income, be strong, and protect them. Most guys don't give a shit about that. But women, on the other hand, do.
I think we have to start realizing that, when we talk about dating events and singles mixers and stuff like that, and men ain't showing up, maybe that's a sign. If you promote, and all of the women show up, but all of the men decide not to for whatever reason. Why is nobody stepping back to ask, now why aren't the men coming? Why aren't the men here? Man, we tried to do pickleball, they didn't come. We tried to do basketball, they didn't come. They'll come for football though. It looks like they didn't come for football. Maybe we need to start reaching out and asking, why aren't you guys coming? I mean, we had a night where we watched the football game and we had wings. We did the fight night. We did baseball. I mean, why are you guys not coming out? We're trying to do things that cater to you. And they'll tell you. And whenever they tell you, listen. Matter of fact, you don't even have to ask. You can just go in a comment section and see what men are upset about and what they're worried about, what they're concerned about. But do you think that people listen to men and what they be talking about? No, because they don't.
Okay, if you're a single woman in the dating pool, please answer this. Please just stay here for 1 second. So I'm a single woman. I live in Las Vegas. I'm 29 years old, and I just recently decided that I was gonna try to attempt to start dating again. And y'all, I don't know. I'm putting this out there because I don't know if it's Vegas or if it's every other city. And the only way I'm going to figure this out is through TikTok. So my question is for women that are actively trying to date. Like, are you finding actually good men, like that have emotions, that are emotionally available, that actually plan dates, that don't ghost before they meet you? Like, it's not like they meet you and it's like not compatible. It's like doesn't even get there, or it's just completely bland, or like, is it like, I want to know if it's Vegas or if it's everywhere, because me and my girlfriend were talking and we're like, maybe it's Vegas, like maybe like, but maybe it's not. Maybe we have a problem. So if you are a girly dating, please comment on this, what city that you live in, and if you are actively dating, if it's going well, if it's like mine, and please help a sister out, because I want to know if I just need to book a freaking flight to Texas to go find my mans or something.
And I think it really has come to a point to where, you know, women are starting to really see men missing in action. You know, where are the men at? You know, used to be in coffee shops, or they used to be over here. They used to be everywhere. Men used to be everywhere. It's just not the case anymore, right? You know, the reason that a lot of these modern women really noticed a man is because a man was in their face, right? And so when something is in your face, then you're more likely to say, oh, no, here's one over here, here's one over there. You know what I mean? Like, say, for instance, one thing that my wife says is like, man, you know, I never noticed, you know, the type of car that you drive until I'm with you. And you'd be like, they're all over the place. I've noticed them. That's why I got one, because I noticed it all the time. But that's how people, you know, if I see something, then I'm focused in on it. I'm locked into it. When men used to talk to modern women, then they were like, oh, the men are everywhere. Man's over here, man's over there. I can get a man. You know, there's a man. You'll never have to worry about a man. But now that men are kind of pulling back, they're like, where are the men at? Well, the men are still right where they've always been. They're right in front of your face. It's just you don't notice them because they don't.
First of all, 2 sides is not a Thanksgiving dinner, and you can throw together 2 sides fairly easily. Not only that, but men don't always expect I wouldn't call that a huge meal, but all of that, I guess. For a lot of men, if you can make a nice piece of chicken or meat, like if you're overwhelmed or working a ton of hours, he would appreciate that. Having a meal to come home to means a lot to a man. But also, like, having some sides and an actual meal it's just part of life in eating a meal. Like, you got your veggies, you've got your meat, and then maybe you have potatoes or another veggie, whatever preference you have with that. Like, you do realize eating French toast sticks every night for dinner for the rest of your life is not healthy or ideal, right? And especially with a lot of men working blue-collar jobs or doing physical labor in general, something like that would not be sufficient after a 12-hour shift, and that's why they like to have an actual dinner. So that's also worth considering, especially if you're a stay-at-home person that doesn't have to work. He's gonna need more than you.
Masculine men are attracted to feminine women, period. So, ladies, if you don't understand how to lean into your femininity, and that's not just what you look like, but that is a component, but also how you act, then you're going to continue attracting men who are probably a little more feminine in nature, maybe a little more soft and beta. And that's not a bad thing if that's what you like, but if you don't want that, if you want a guy who's going to take charge and take the lead, you need to be willing to let him lead you. You can't be in competition with a dude and think that that's a strategic approach to dating. Those guys usually have a lot of options because women flock to them. They like those masculine alpha bros. So if you don't understand how to play a role in that type of lifestyle, he's going to drop you and go for a more feminine woman. And this is why, by the way, I used to live in Miami. A lot of guys tend to date women who are from Eastern Europe or Latin America because those cultures do really preach those types of gender roles. And it is very much drilled in from an early age. Whereas in America, a lot of women, I think, are, they're more aggressive in nature, more dominant. And I get it because we're more progressive as far as just our careers go. But you have to know when to switch it on and switch it off if that's the kind of guy that you want. And if you don't know where to start, then I have a whole course dedicated to this. I'll link it below. 12 steps to master your feminine energy and manifest Mr. Right. Follow me for more dating tips and good luck.
Let me tell you something. You modern women got a man showing up for you for years, doing your bidding, fighting off these other men that be dogging you out, simping for you, ungrateful, pretty much buy you anything that you want as long as he can afford it, and it ain't gonna put him out. That ain't the man that you want. Show up for you, be on the phone with you, gotta go to work early in the morning, gotta get up and go to the gym, need to be grocery shopping, on the phone with you. Had a business meeting, because some of these men are missing business opportunities. And you might sit up here and say, oh man, he an idiot for that. Maybe so. But he's trying to invest in you. And this is what men are trying not to do. See, I have this opportunity, but I'm trying to give you my time. And when y'all continue to waste a man's time, he says, you know what? I'm not missing no more opportunity. Well, you shouldn't in the first place. Exactly. But I did it because I thought you was going to be a good investment. And now that I know for sure, with 100% certainty, that you as a modern woman are not going to be a good investment, I'm going to be taking the business meeting every single time.
A lot of men aren't leaving because they cannot handle a good woman. They are leaving because they are tired of paying for damage they did not cause. So you think you're Mr. Right? You check all the boxes. You're calm, you're consistent, you provide, and you are still getting attitude, you're still getting distance, you're still getting tested, you're still getting manipulated, you're still getting disrespected. Now you're confused because you don't get it. You don't see what it is you're doing wrong. And to be honest, it's nothing. You are simply dealing with somebody who's in defense and reactive mode. A lot of women don't hate men. They just don't know how to act when they are not being hurt. So they self-sabotage. They create problems where there are none. They question intentions that are clear, and they pull away when things start to feel steady. Because these women are used to chaos, and peace feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels unsafe. And a lot of men, they're going to deal with that for a while, but at some point they're going to check out. Because no man wants to keep proving himself to somebody who is committed to misunderstanding him.
And modern women expect you to commit to them, right? Modern women really, honestly, they want control over commitment is really what they want. They want control over your access to them, and they want control over their commitment. So they want all of the cards, which is, oh, I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. And this and that. I can choose this man. I got this man on my roster. He does this. I got this man that does that. And I can choose any one of them whenever I would like to. Right. You can do all of that and have a fantastic life. People doing things for you. I don't know what they got going on. That might be an arrangement that you guys enjoy in some instances for a number of years. But then you, at one point in time, and this is where you get into trouble. At one point in time, at some point in time, you want a man, even if it's not that man, you want a man to commit to you, right? Unfortunately for you, that man has been seeing you act a fool out there. And now you're wondering why this man won't commit to you, why this man won't propose to you, why this man won't marry you. I've been seeing you act a fool. And a lot of men see that. They see you out here playing the field, roaming around, and then saying, I'm going to continue to roam around. You're not even doing it in private, right? They see all the stuff you're doing and they say, I don't think so. I don't want to marry a woman like that. If she's going to be out here messing with this guy and that guy, it's not the type of woman that I want. You got women out here trying to take a man for all of his money. I don't want that. That's not something that I'm looking for. You're not doing anything to beat the allegation.
No. What? So something men don't know about women and women don't know about themselves is oxytocin. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. Ton of research done on it. I don't even try to keep up anymore. It's the bonding hormone. It's the I can care about you hormone. I can give a flying fart about what you need, or I can't. So oxytocin is I can care about you. I feel close to you, and it's also the orgasm hormone. And ton of oxytocin is spent in sex. So I call it the oxytocin account. So when you're like, right? Unconsciously, besides the schedule and everything that has to get done, there's a checking of the oxytocin account. Mm-hmm. And if we don't have enough oxytocin, and most women don't know this. If we don't have enough oxytocin, sex will depress us. Yeah, I mean, for a man, how can it ever be bad when you don't have enough oxytocin? You can be left depressed, which is why women get so upset about men falling asleep. You just spent a bunch of testosterone. You got to build some more. So we're trying to, because we're depleted because we didn't have enough oxytocin to be able to spend that much. And if a woman doesn't have enough oxytocin, she can't have an orgasm. The more oxytocin we have, the more
Good men get fumbled too. Nobody talks about that. We talk constantly about how men need to step up, how men need to lead, how we got to be better. And all that's true. But we don't talk enough about men who actually did the work, the men who showed up and provided and protected and communicated and stayed loyal and still got played. Because a lot of women are praying for a good man while holding on to the habits they learned from a toxic one. And when a good man finally shows up, he doesn't feel like peace. He feels like boredom because you're so used to that chaos, that stability now feels like something's wrong. So you start picking fights, testing him, looking for the catch, and eventually you push away the exact thing you prayed for because you didn't do the healing required to keep it. He was consistent. He was present. He loved without a highlight reel, and what you call boring was actually just a man who wasn't performing for you. He was just keeping it real, and real is rare. So he got quiet, got focused, got to work, because a man who knows his value, he doesn't audition for a second chance with somebody who already had the front row seat and still chose the cheap seats. Now she's comparing everybody to him. Every man she meets gets measured against a standard she didn't appreciate until it was gone. Good man can give you the world, but he can't heal the trauma that makes you rejected. And the most dangerous thing a fumbled good man becomes isn't bitter. It's selective, because now he knows exactly what he brings to the table and exactly what kind of woman deserves a seat at all. So stop asking God for a high value man if you're still operating with a low value mindset. Good men get fumbled every day by women who are ready to be loved right.
It's your girl Natalie Clarice, and I'm coming on with today's love note. Just because you have a dude in your house does not mean you have a man in your house. If that dude ain't helping to pay no bills, sis, you have company. A man is supposed to provide and protect, not beg and collect. Think about it. And that is today's love note. Have a great day, guys.
Now, number 4 in terms of dynamics is that we have to set that masculine and feminine frame from the very start. It starts at date 1. So this is where the vetting process actually really starts once you meet her out on the first date or even before that. So she has to conform to your framing as a man. This simply means on her part, she has to be feminine and she has to allow you to lead. She has to be the follower. If she's trying to challenge you, push frame, get you within her frame in terms of what she wants to do, if she tries to lead, if you sense overly masculinized behavior, and I will admit this really comes with women in professional careers and categories. So if you're dating doctors, lawyers, anything of that sort, these women instinctively tend to be more masculine. Also entrepreneurs. They're very rare, but they tend to be more masculine than average. And sometimes, unless you're a very masculinized man and you set frame really, really strong from the start, then they're almost like a challenge to put it in their feminine frame. That's what we don't want. She has to know that you are the man and she has to know that she is the woman. If she challenges that by any degree, she is now disqualified. Now keep in mind, this does not mean a woman will not test you. Women of all types, feminine women, submissive women, will still test you to some degree. This is to test your confidence and to see if you're really that man who you say you are. So sometimes they'll throw little jabs, jokes here and there, but as long as you're masculine and grounded, and if you handle those test, it should over the course of time stop altogether. The point is you establish that masculine and feminine dynamic from the very start, and once she knows that, that's what creates the optimal dynamic. Because the way that a relationship should be run is almost like a dictatorship. You're the leader, you call the shots, you make the rules, she complies and obeys. Really, that's how it should be. It's really not a negotiation on your part. Some things can be a negotiation, but for the most part, since you have the highest SMV and since you are in fact a prize, it naturally places you in that leadership masculine role.
I don't know what man needs to answer this question, but how come when y'all see a woman and you see that she's not in the mood to speak to anybody, that's the best time y'all think to pursue her? If I don't look like I want to be spoken to, why are you telling me to put a smile on my face? Want me to be walking around like this?
All right, here's my hot, spicy take while I'm driving, stuck in traffic, is that when I was younger, I always thought, man, like, all the good men are taken. Now that I'm, like, in my late 30s, that's something that I'm, like, reframing, that thought of all good men are taken, because obviously women, any man could just, like, pick a woman and they'll be amazing. And then, of course, like, the ratio is just off. So obviously, they're all, like, married now. But what I'm realizing is that actually a lot of those guys probably settled. And like, they hit 30s, they got married, and they're like, all right, this is it. And so it's funny now thinking about that, because I used to be like, man, there's just no good guys out there. And on the contrary, which is so crazy, because I am not here to like defend men at all, but I'm like, wow, that is a bold statement coming from me. What a 180 turnaround, thinking like these men. And I always talk about like the concept of settling, the act of settling, just like how I see it every single day in so many aspects, whether it's career, it's marriage, it's like even yourself. Self-abandonment is like a huge thing. So that was kind of like a tidbit that don't fall into the scarcity mindset that everybody's already taken, there's no hope. There actually is a lot of hope. I'm somebody very cynical about love. I'm like, wow, this is a realization I'm coming towards. Just meeting a lot of people, talking to a lot of people, and maybe I'm on the side of TikTok where the illusion of what marriage is kind of breaking a little bit. So it's been interesting.
If a guy asks for your Snapchat, then he is not interested in dating you. Or if he brings up within the first week of y'all talking, he is not interested in dating you. If a guy is actually genuinely interested in dating you, he is scared shitless to do anything that might turn you off of him. And asking for your Snapchat at the start is a turnoff for a lot of girls, so he wouldn't do it. Same thing with bringing up any. Why would he risk that?
I literally just went to my ex-husband's house because I had to drop off our son's Easter basket. And the first thing my ex-husband said was, "What the f*** are you wearing, Randy?" I was like, what? And he was like, seriously, what the f*** are you wearing? I thought I looked cute, but now I'm going to go home and I'm going to second guess my life choices and the real reason why he divorced me.
Did men ever approach you and say, hey, how's it going?
I actually went on a date with someone who approached me one time. He was just riding on a bike, actually, like up here, and I was just walking. And then he was like looking back, and I was like, oh my God, he's gonna come up to me. I was like, he's kind of cute. He's gonna go up to me. And then he came up to me. If you approach someone in the right way, it can be quite charming. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Sometimes I'm like in the mood for just like a 2-minute chat or like even a 1-minute chat.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just straight up say like, I'm not in the mental state to be having this conversation right now, and I'm gonna go that way.
The women that want Russell Wilson is usually the women in their later 30s with kids by other men. Exactly. That now, and after they ran through all the fuckboy, now they got all that trauma. Now they want a Russell Wilson. When y'all was avoiding him, y'all whole prime years.
I agree, because one thing I say to myself all the time, I wish in my 20s I dated way more. Instead of trying to find somebody to settle down with and have a kid with, and then you realize that's not that person, you should have been dating in your 20s, like your parents say, enjoy your life. And then when you get to your 30, the age 30, then you could be like, all right, I want to settle down with this person. So that is definitely true.
Men can just go sleep around with like 10 women and it's okay, but then if a woman does it, it's like bad.
How easy do you think it would be for you to go in there and sleep with 10 guys?
Very easily. I mean, because like guys willingly will just go up to you out of the blue.
For the average guy, like your friend that was just here, how easy do you think it would be for him to sleep with 10 women?
If the guy is like some like gorgeous model, maybe he might.
I think if a guy could sleep with 10 women, the reason he's celebrated is because not a lot of guys can sleep with 10 women. There's a lot of guys that are virgins not by choice. Whereas like even the ugliest woman can sleep with a guy. So why celebrate you for something that's so easy to do?
What I find really comical, me and all my liberal friends want to be traditional housewives. Well, not all of us, but most of us. But the problem is we don't like Republican men because they don't have the same sense of justice and morality that we do, because we care for every human being. And the liberal men don't believe in exploiting themselves for labor, so like we have to have an equal household, because the only ones that bust their and make enough money to support a stay-at-home mom, wife, whatever, are the Republican men, because they will exploit the out themselves for money. Then they're miserable and burn out and take it out on everyone around them and refuse to take meds. So it's like, I'd rather be alone.
If you are a woman's best option, she is going to be sweet as pie. She is going to be putting in effort. She is going to be available. She's going to be gentle, patient, easygoing. This is the type of relationship that a lot of guys are looking for, and it does not require work. On the other hand, if she is difficult or distant or inconsistent or impatient or demanding or whatever, it's almost always because she believes that she could do better. Maybe she had a better option in the past who may not have wanted the kind of relationship that she did. Maybe she is comparing herself to her friends for social media, or maybe she's just delusional about her value and expectations. The reason doesn't really matter. The upshot is that you're not going to have a good time, and you'll be putting in more and more effort for smaller and smaller returns. The smart move is to select women who understand that they're lucky to be there. Anything less is a job.
Always be the one that got away. When you are the one that got away, you realize that fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. So you leave the relationship and you realize, wow, that's what I was scared of. I was scared of being alone. It's actually peaceful over here. But when you are the one that stays, I have yet to see a woman who has stayed in a relationship after betrayal who hasn't become an absolute shell of herself. Because when you are forced to face the person who has betrayed you day after day, your body will go into survival mode. You go to bed at night, but you don't rest, because rest requires peace. And how can you be at peace with a person who has you at war with your own nervous system? You once defined success by achieving your own goals and dreams, and now you only dream within the confines of what his life and ego would allow for. If being with a man requires you to sacrifice your own potential, your own happiness, baby, it's not for you.
How good are you at house cleaning?
Excellent.
And cooking?
Excellent. I'm a country girl. My dad had a farm. I was raised on a farm. We had chickens. We had pigs. And I want to really get back to that again, actually. I just bought a house in August, and getting chickens, goats, probably some ducks. But I love to cook.
Be willing to just stay home and not work?
I don't work.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah, I don't work.
Okay.
Don't plan on going back. Nope.
You're going to be the provider. I'm looking for work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you used to do?
Recyclables.
Okay.
Janitorial.
Okay.
Skills I picked up. I've done some time, a substantial amount of time.
Time doing what?
Incarcerated.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to specify.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Any questions?
Because I'm in a relationship, I move like my partner is always watching, even when he's not. I don't need my husband around to act right. I don't need supervision to be respectful. I don't need reminders to stay within my boundaries, because how I move isn't based on who's watching, it's based on who I am. A lot of people are only as loyal as their partner can see them. When their partner's around, they're solid. They respectful, they committed, they are locked in. But as soon as the partner's not around, their entire behavior shifts. Now it's not that serious. They don't have to know. It's just a conversation. And that's not loyalty. That's performance. You're not committed. You're a talented actor. Because real loyalty isn't about what you do in front of your partner. It's what you allow yourself to do when they're not there. The conversations you entertain, the energy you give off, the doors you leave open. That's the real you. And let's be real. It's easy to behave when you're being watched. Anybody can do that. But integrity, discipline, and respect will always show up in private. So no, I don't change how I move based on who's around. Because I don't just respect my relationship when it's physical. I respect it when it's not. And that's not pressure. That's character. What you do in private will always reveal more about you than what you do in public.
We really need the narrative. I'm so tired of it, honestly. All men are the same. There are no good men out there. I'm so sick of hearing it. It's plenty of good men, plenty. But unfortunately, sis, you haven't had a chance to experience one yet because you're too broken. Yes, you are too broken. Or maybe you don't know your self-worth and your self-love is at an all-time low and you don't know how to choose. You out here choosing anybody that's choosing you. Yes. There's plenty of good men, but you have to heal first. You have to forgive the men that hurt you. You have to forgive yourself for allowing it to happen. And once that process starts, self-love, self-worth at an all-time high. Yes. Now you know how to choose. Yes. Now you can operate with a clean heart instead of a broken heart. Because a lot of us that think that way are broken. There are plenty of good men. And no, they're not standing at the corner. No, you can't catch them in the bar every night getting drunk. Stop looking there. Stop. Plenty of good men. But you have to fix you. You have to heal. You have to want to heal. The narrative. There's plenty of good men.
Can we talk about how hard it is to leave the good guy? When you say, I want a divorce, and he's like, no, I want to work this out. Everything's going to be fine.
Free that man so he can find his wife. I'm going to say it again. Free that good man, Savannah, so he can find his wife. Because if you're unhappy, chances are he's unhappy too. But he just doesn't know how to express it. And he doesn't want to get help, clearly, to change the dynamics of your relationship. And I understand that you're unhappy and your feelings are very much valid. I don't want to invalidate them. But just know that once this marriage is over with, you might not find anybody better. And that's okay. But you got to be prepared to not hold him to a high standard that nobody else can reach. And you also may need to fall in love with the idea of being alone for the rest of your days. Because you know how people say the grass ain't always greener on the other side? Well, I haven't seen too many green pastures that look appealing nowadays, okay? So you might have to fall in love with you and be okay with that. for the rest of your life. But yeah, free you and free him so y'all can both be happy.
Start taking for granted these relationships, and you think the grass is gonna be green on the other side. He's realizing it ain't shit out here either. There's only so much new you can get.
Yeah.
We'd rather have a good night's sleep and a nice bowel movement. I mean, honestly.
Okay.
I'm being honest. You're not kids anymore. So it's like, okay, you got to relearn somebody all over again, and it doesn't sound like y'all had anything really major. It sounds as we don't have a community or a culture that supports marriage. Because if you'd have came around a bunch of married people and a community that supports marriage, people would have told you, girl, you better go back home and work this out. And people would have told him, man, you better go on back home and fix this.
Yeah. Right.
Versus get out here and live your best life. That ain't what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you, put your family back together. Because ain't out here. I'm out here. Ain't out here.
Right.
Venereal diseases and crazy. Fix your family. If it's not anything that's majorly sick, rampant infidelity, you're not in danger.
Don't get out here and lose your family and leave your family because it ain't nothing out here. And now you're going to lose your union for Nathan. Humble yourself, find some humility, learn how to communicate.
And a lot of these modern women, after they get tired of being strong and independent, they want to get mad at a man because he don't step in and he don't drag her by her neck to do the things that she once didn't want to do. I'm sorry. You told me that you didn't want that to happen. Stay out of my way. I ain't never gonna let a man tell me what to do. But now that you're tired of carrying the load, you just want that man. See, what they think men are doing is they think that think about it like the NFL, right? Where very few people get a chance. And so if one go, like you just got one waiting for that man to go down. I'm just waiting for my chance. That man don't even got to go down. Just switch me in. Just give me a chance. You go out there, you get burnt. Coach sits you down. Okay, coach, I'm ready to go. I'm really ready. Not even the next game. You ready to go in the next drive. After you got burnt. Coach, that was my first time in. Put me back out there again. They think that men are that desperate to date them. That's why they think, oh man, I can always get a man like that. No. How many times, let me say this, how many times do you see an all-star? Because that's what y'all are looking for. How many times do y'all see an all-star begging to get back out there? Nope. He's not going to do it. He will go to another team. Because I have that cachet. I can do that. Oh, you don't want to play me? Oh, you want to sit me down? You don't have but a hand, and you might call it a diva. And I can't argue with you. But you ain't got but a handful of times to do that. In the middle of the season, I'm requesting a trade. Kevin Durant. Requested a trade. Hey, all-star athlete requested a trade, and it's going to be granted. It's going to be granted. So y'all thinking that y'all going to have this bench of all-stars that when one go down, the next one up.